What's going on, guys, in the works? And we're going to be talking about some Battlefield 4 today. And yes, you heard me right. Battlefield 4, not Medal of Honor Warfighter, not Bad Company 3, not Battlefield 3, not Battlefield 3 Premium, but Battlefield 4, an entirely new game that essentially all was confirmed by DICE and EA with this little leak that, Origin had last night. Essentially, what happened is there was a poster that went up on the Origin website that showed that if you pre-ordered Medal of Honor Warfighter, you would get access to the Battlefield 4 beta. And a lot of people were up in arms. They're like, oh my god, EA are money whores, they're just taking advantage of the Battlefield 3 community. And all in all, I was in disagreement of that. I was like, what did you really expect? Were you really that shocked that EA was going to do another Battlefield title here in the next couple of years? Because even though it is saying that you get Battlefield 4 access, doesn't mean that it's coming out in 2013. I would most likely see 2014 being a more realistic launch date. I'm sure they can put some sort of disclaimer in this bonus saying, so-and-so within this period you are granted access to the beta, and it's much easier for PC to do that because PCs will always have the same game on their computer versus if Medal of Honor Warfighter comes out for Xbox, how would you grant access to the beta for the Xbox 720 if it's not backwards compatible? So you do run into some issues there that makes me wonder how legit this was. Was it maybe a typo? Because I'm not really so sure that Battlefield 4 is technically in development. So I don't know. I'm really curious to see what the disclaimer becomes, because they have taken this down. You can no longer see this offer, but there are several screenshots. I showed you that one right there. And what do you guys think about this? Are you guys shocked? I'm not really too surprised, to be honest. I think that it's a smart move because essentially what they're doing is they're milking you 4 times for the Battlefield series. Like, okay, let's say you wanted to get Battlefield 3. You bought Battlefield 3. You were convinced by EA that you needed to buy Battlefield 3 Premium. Essentially, after that, they say that Medal of Honor Warfighter is going to come with Battlefield 4 beta access. Well, if that's the case, if you were on the fence about Medal of Honor Warfighter and you're a huge Battlefield 3 fan, you now have a reason to want to consider getting Battlefield, or getting Medal of Honor Warfighter. So they're selling you that game as well. And then after it's all said and done, you purchase Battlefield 4. So it's a good revenue stream for EA, and that's something they've really been lacking. Because if you don't know, EA's been struggling financially, and they've been trying to basically find that cash cow. And hate them as you may, that is what business is all about. And, that's what Activision has basically done with Call of Duty. They have that constant revenue stream, and that's important from the business side of things. I mean, if you disagree with that, then you don't really see it from the standpoint of, this is a company, they've got to make a bottom line. They've got to make money. Otherwise, they're not going to exist. And that would really suck for Battlefield 3 to get caught in limbo if something happened to EA. I'm sure DICE could, break away and stand on their own, no problem, but there's always that possibility that if something happened to EA, we'd be looking at some problems for Battlefield 3, and I'd hate to see that, because even though EA is a crappy company, they do own the rights to some really, really good titles, and I'd hate to see those titles get hurt because of that, because EA is notorious for just buying up companies, and in the end, that could spell doom for some of the series that we really love if something happened to EA. So I'm not so convinced that Battlefield 4 will be coming out in 2013. I think 2014 is way more realistic, but let me know what you guys think. Do you think that EA is taking advantage of us? Do you think that they're milking it? Or do you think it was just an error because it was only up for a little bit? The Battlefield Twitter basically denounced any existence of Battlefield 4 because they probably don't want to kill the momentum of Battlefield 3 Premium. Because if people see that Battlefield 4 is coming in the next year, they might be like, well, I'm not going to waste money on Battlefield Premium when it's supposed to, take us through the next year up until next spring. So a lot of weird rumors floating around last night, and I'm really interested to see how they approach this. I couldn't imagine that Battlefield 4 would be in existence if they haven't even announced it yet, but, I've seen Stranger Things, they probably just don't want to kill the momentum of their current games by announcing it too soon, because that's kind of the stance that Call of Duty has always taken. But let me know what you guys think. Will you guys even consider getting Medal of Honor Warfighter now? Does this kind of sweeten the deal for you? Are you mad that EA kind of took advantage of, or are taking advantage of the Battlefield community? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because I'm really curious to see what the community thinks as a whole, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.